Good day. Today Saturday, September 17, 2022. Putin warns Russia ought to intensify assaults on Ukraine's infrastructure. Vladimir Putin has vowed to proceed with his assault on Ukraine regardless of Kyiv's state-of-the-art counteroffensive and warned that Moscow should ramp up its strikes on the country's essential infrastructure if Ukrainian forces goal amenities in Russia. Associated Press pronounced that the Russian president stated the liberation of Ukraine's complete Donbas location remained Russia's essential navy aim and that he noticed no want to revise it. Speaking to newshounds on Friday after attending a summit of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization in Samarkand, Uzbekistan, Putin said, "We aren't in a rush." The Russian chief brought that Moscow has solely deployed volunteer troopers to combat in Ukraine. Russia returned its forces from massive swaths of northeastern Ukraine, remaining weak after a swift Ukrainian counteroffensive. In his first remark on the Ukrainian advance, Putin said, "Let's see how it develops and how it ends." He stated Ukraine had tried to strike civilian infrastructure in Russia, and we so some distance have replied with restraint, however simply yet. If the state of affairs develops this way, our response will be extra serious. Recently, the Russian military has conveyed several effective strikes, he said, in a conspicuous reference to Russian attacks ahead of time this week on power vegetation in northern Ukraine and a dam in the south. Let's think about these as warning strikes. President Biden warns Putin no longer to use chemical or tactical weapons. Joe Biden has warned Vladimir Putin now not to use chemical or tactical nuclear weapons in the conflict with Ukraine. The U.S. president used to be requested in an interview with CBS News what he would say to Putin if he used to be thinking about the usage of the weapons. Biden said, Don't. You will exchange the face of struggle in contrast to something due to the fact that World War II. The U.S. president refused to intricate on what the U.S. would do if Putin did take matters that far. He added, "They'll come to be extra of a pariah in the world than they ever have been. And relying on the extent of what they do will decide what response would occur." Volodymyr Zelensky stated on Friday he had spoken to Nike Incorporated and thanked the U.S. sports activities producer for making what he referred to as the right decision to pull out of Russia. This is a case of how business undertaking can play a major situation in protecting mankind and opportunity, Reuters referenced the Ukrainian president has declared in his daily video address. If a country chooses the course of terror, it is the responsibility of each and every self-respecting agency to distance itself from such a state. Nike instructed Reuters in June that it used to be making a full exit from Russia. Russia can also no longer have the reserves to stand up to a counter-offensive in Luhansk. Russia is probable to stubbornly shield the Luhansk Oblast in Japanese Ukraine's Donbas place amid Kyiv's counteroffensive. However, it is uncertain if Moscow's forces have sufficient reserves or ample morale to face up to some other concerted Ukrainian assault, the UK Ministry of Protection says. Its present-day talent briefing says, any giant loss of territory in Luhansk will unambiguously undermine Russia's strategy. The evaluation comes after Ukrainian forces currently recaptured extra than 6,000 sq kilometers of territory such as the town of Izium, lengthy viewed as the gateway to the Donbas. In case you overlooked it on Friday, Ukrainian authorities say they have determined a mass burial website of greater than 440 bodies in the Japanese town of Izium that was once recaptured from Russian forces. Volodymyr Zelensky has likened the discovery to what had befallen in Bucha, saying, "Russia leaves dying everywhere and ought to be accountable for it." Russia has, again and again, denied its ambitions for civilians or has dedicated conflict crimes. The truth, they say, is the first casualty of war. With correspondents on the floor in Ukraine overlaying the war, as nicely as at some stage in the world, The Guardian is properly positioned to furnish the honest, factual reporting that readers will want to apprehend this perilous second for Europe, the former Soviet Union, and the complete world. Free from business or political influence, we can file fearlessly on world activities and undertake these in power. We trust everybody deserves equal get entry to correct news. Support from our readers allows us to maintain our journalism open and free for everyone, which includes Russia and Ukraine. Thanks for watching and subscribing to the channel.